Okay, imagine this scene. You've got a woman, Lisa. She's bound with silk scarves, gagged, and she's trapped inside this old, beat-up yellow van. There's this really unsettling country western
Mm,
music playing.
right.
And her captor, he calls her Angel. He's talking about some kind of reunion, but she is just terrified, helpless. She can feel the van hitting potholes, sliding around on what feels like a brand new mattress.
Yeah, it's clear right away this is not a romantic getaway, it's a kidnapping, a really chilling start.
Absolutely. And today we're doing a deep dive into what is, well, a truly complex case, the disappearance of Lisa St. Clair.
We're going to follow the detective's journey here, trying to uncover not just, where she went, but maybe more importantly, who she really is. We'll be peeling back layers, secrets, past lives, some really profound personal struggles. It's going to surprise you, I think.
Definitely. And our mission really is to pull out these fascinating nuggets of insight, things about identity, about healing from some pretty heavy trauma, and the incredible resilience people can find when they're facing the absolute darkest parts of their past.
We'll piece it together using police interviews, the detective's own sharp observations, and even, parts of Lisa's own harrowing internal thoughts during this ordeal.
So let's just dive right in. Okay, so the story kicks off with our lead detective. He's at this place, Henry Simoli's Harbor Health Club, hitting the heavy bag. Now, he's got this tough, old-school boxing background, right?
Yeah.
But he's working out in this very modern world, this Babylon of glass and chrome, as it's described. Trainers and shiny leotards. It's quite a contrast.
Yeah.
How does that setting immediately sort of tell us about his approach?
Well, that contrast is striking, isn't it? You've got the detective who's grounded in something really visceral, kind of raw,
Right.
the gritty boxing world. And then all around him is this polished, maybe even superficial world of glass and chrome and spandex. It immediately establishes him as having this no-nonsense perspective. He sees through things. And that's going to be absolutely crucial as he digs into a case that's just covered in pretense.
Built to cut through the noise, like you said.
Exactly. He's not easily fooled by surfaces.
And right there, in that setting, Frank Belson approaches him. Frank's a cop, an acquaintance of the detectives from way back. And he's desperate. His new wife, Lisa, she's gone. Vanished. No trace. No note.
And Belson's pain is just raw. He even compares it to the detective's own past separation from his partner, Susan, which is quite personal.
It is.
And if we step back a bit, Belson's reaction, his almost paralyzing inability to cope, it signals right away that Lisa means something huge to him, maybe more than just a new wife.
Yeah.
And that detail, no note left behind, that's key. It really points away from someone just leaving, It suggests something else entirely, something more sinister.
Definitely feels that way. And then we get these glimpses from Lisa's perspective. While she's helpless in that van,
It's chilling.
she's anchored by a rope through her ankles,
Yeah.
tied to a ring in the van floor, and her captor, this guy Lewis, he's filming her, telling her, "Look up, Angel," at the camera.
God.
And even talks about the scarves he used, the silk ones. Says, the silk is gentle. It will not cut you as the rope would.
Okay, that right there raises a huge question, doesn't it? The supposed gentleness of the silk, calling her Angel, but combined with the absolute violation of filming her, taking her freedom.
It's a paradox.
It's a terrifying paradox. It immediately shows us the abductor's mindset is deeply complex, deeply disturbed. It's this awful mix of, twisted affection and total control. This isn't just random.
Not at all. So the detective starts his investigation. He heads to Lisa and Frank's condo in Jamaica Plain. It sounds, meticulously put together, very new. What does he find there, or maybe what doesn't he find that immediately raises red flags for him?
Well, the condo itself is interesting, isn't it? Very new, filled with these high-end accessories like a sub-zero fridge. It almost screams curated life, like it's been carefully constructed.
Right. A bit too perfect.
Maybe, but the critical detail, the thing that really stands out, is the missing purse. The detective, he specifically checks her closet, looks downstairs. If she'd left on her own...
She'd take her purse, always.
Exactly. Her purse, keys, wallet, it would be with her. Its absence is a huge indicator. It strongly points towards an involuntary departure. It just shatters that perfect image.
That missing purse, yeah, that changes everything about how you see her leaving. What about the answering machine? Any clues there about her life just before?
Yeah, a few messages. Seemingly mundane stuff, right? A Tiffany calling about a class, Dr. Wilson's office confirming an appointment.
And Frank himself leaving a sweet message about getting Chinese food.
Right. And those ordinary messages, they actually highlight how abruptly her normal life was just cut off. They give you this little snapshot of her routine classes, doctor, loving husband, and it makes her disappearance feel even more jarring, more sudden.
So the detective heads out to Proctor, described as a jerkwater city near New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Lisa's workplace, the radio station, WPOM-FM.
Okay.
The station manager, a guy named Antonelli, paints a picture of Lisa. Says she was private but spunky. Saw the DJ job mostly as a stepping stone to get into television.
Interesting. So ambitious.
Yeah, worked 10 to 2. A lot of the music was apparently pre-progged, so maybe not super demanding.
That description, it suggests she was ambitious, definitely looking ahead, but also maybe a bit detached from her current situation there.
Could be.
It makes you wonder, was she always planning to move on, or was this stepping stone idea something more recent, maybe tied to this deeper need for reinvention we start to see?
And this is where the plot really, really thickens. The detective finds out Lisa was taking a course at Merrimack State. It's called HD 31-6, Self-Actualization, an analytic feminist perspective.
Wow. Okay.
And the professor, Professor Layton, she provides this absolutely crucial piece of information. Lisa St. Clair and Luis Deleon,
the captor,
were intimately involved the year before in her seminar called Media and Identity.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's a fascinating connection right there, isn't it? The theme of her self-actualization course and the struggle for identity we're uncovering.
Right.
And Professor Layton's description of Luis Deleon is just vital. She says he's Hispanic, from Proctor, younger than Lisa, maybe 26, 27.
Yeah.
Uneducated, technically, but bright. Learned a lot from TV and movies, apparently. Described as very intense, capable of sudden violent rages, and just formidable, like physically imposing, 6'4", 6'5".
That paints a pretty scary picture. A dangerous individual involved here.
No question.
But while the detective is out there, piecing together this public Lisa, the DJ, the student, what's actually going on inside Lisa's head? Trapped with this guy, Luis.
Well, it's real battle inside her. Initially, she's just clinging to this thought, Frank will find me, Frank will find me.
Understandable.
But Luis he's controlling everything.
Yeah.
Forcing her to shower while he's there, making her wear these ridiculous costumes like a Southern belle dress. It's humiliating. But even through the terror, something shifts. She tells him, defiantly, that she's an alcoholic and has relapsed in more ways than one. She confronts him, tells him she loves Frank, that she feels like Frank's bowling trophy, maybe, but she loves him.
Wow.
And she tells Luis he thinks she has him locked up. She finds this ill-formed kernel of self, the text says, that would not yield. She decides right then she'd rather die than go back to being with him.
A turning point.
A huge turning point. And that's when she cries for the first time. Not just from fear, but from longing for Frank, seeing him as calmness, stability, safety. And contrasting that so sharply with Luis, who represents wildness, adventure, infinite possibility, but a dangerous kind. It's a battle for her very soul.
Absolutely. Which leads us right into this really critical shift in the case. Things turn violent. Frank Belson gets shot.
Yeah, that escalates things dramatically. Suddenly, it's not just a missing person case anymore. It's attempted murder. It's far more dangerous.
And it forces everyone to dig much, much deeper into Lisa's past. And the detective's colleague, Quirk, he comes up with this bombshell, something that just changes everything.
It really does. It exposes the secrets she's been hiding so carefully, secrets Frank clearly knew nothing about.
And the bombshell is Lisa St. Clair's fingerprints. They match a woman named Angela Richard.
Angela Richard.
Arrested twice for soliciting prostitution in Los Angeles back in 82 and 85. And then sent to Pomona detox for alcohol addiction in 1985, before 1990. Her background is a complete blank.
Wow, that's the aha moment, isn't it? Suddenly, her no past rule with Frank makes perfect sense. Her intense desire to reinvent herself.
It all clicks.
It all clicks. It just highlights these, desperate measures people sometimes take to escape a really traumatic past. And the sheer weight she must have been carrying, hiding that identity. It reframes everything we thought we knew about Lisa St. Clair.
So the detective, he heads out to Los Angeles now, right? Starts digging into Angela Richard. At Pomona Detox, a Dr. Ito tells him Angela was desperate to improve herself.
Okay, so that drive was there even then.
Yeah, and Ito points him towards Dr. Madeline St. Clair, a prominent psychiatrist in Beverly Hills who did pro bono work at Pomona.
Wait, St. Clair, the same last name.
The same last name.
Wow, so Lisa, Angela, she chose her new name from her therapist. That's incredibly poignant.
Isn't it? And Dr. St. Clair, she provides some really deep insights. Says Angela experienced love as cruelty and exploitation, and kept returning to those kinds of relationships.
So
A pattern established early on. Her father was apparently a drinker and brawler who actually kidnapped her as a child. Sets the stage for all this trauma.
God, that explains so much. The deep roots of why she felt the need to escape, to become someone else entirely.
Then the detective tracks down another figure from her past. Elwood Woody Pontevecchio, her former pimp, back in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Oh boy. Okay.
And Woody, eventually, he spills the beans, talks about running away from home with her, doing adult films, her being an exotic disc jockey for a bit.
Wow.
And then finally, hooking. He blames her. Ellie arrests on her drinking too much.
So this part of the investigation, it just lays bare the really raw, brutal reality of Angela's past, doesn't it? A life of desperation, exploitation. And it just throws that contrast into sharp relief, the woman she was, Angela Richard, and the Lisa St. Clair she worked so hard to create. It really makes you ask, can you ever truly leave a past like that behind? Especially one that's so deeply defined by trauma.
It's a heavy question. But as we're learning about Angela Richard's history, back in captivity, Lisa is actively fighting to reclaim her present. What's that internal struggle looking like now?
Well, despite the terror, her resolve is hardening. You see it in small acts than bigger ones. She refuses to cower. Like when Luis is filming her in the shower, she defiantly chooses not to hide her nakedness.
A small act, but powerful.
Hugely powerful. It's about reclaiming some tiny bit of agency. And then later, when Luis tries to force intimacy, she doesn't just resist physically, she confronts him verbally. I do not love you, Luis. Remember, I don't love you.
Using his own words, almost.
And then she goes deeper, weaponizing his own issues. You love your mother, Luis. You're just working it out on me.
Wow, that must have hit a nerve.
Oh, it does. He slaps her, but then she laughs defiantly, and he breaks down crying. It's this crucial shift in power dynamics, even in captivity.
She found a weak spot.
Exactly. And this strengthens her. She finds that iron pipe, unscrews it from a sink leg, and hides it under her mattress, calls it her treasure. It's no longer just about survival, it's about resistance. She's shifting from victim to fighter.
Incredible resilience. Okay, so with Lisa's real identity as Angela Richard now out in the open, the focus really shifts hard onto Luis Deleon, her captor. What's his world like back in Proctor? What are the power dynamics there?
Well, Proctor sounds like this almost feudal kind of place, you know. The police chief, Delaney, he's described as Irish, alcoholic, racist.
Not great.
Not great at all. And he's basically ceded control of the whole Hispanic community to this one guy, Freddie Santiago. Santiago is painted as the godfather figure running drugs, prostitution, gambling, the whole operation.
So Santiago's the top dog.
Seems like it. But Luis Deleon, he's a rival. He holds power in his own section, San Juan Hill, which is described vividly as Dodge City. So immediate tension there.
Right. And we learned about Luis's own past, too.
Yeah, it's bleak. His mother was a prostitute, died from an overdose when he was just 14. And Luis, he claims Freddie Santiago killed her.
Okay, so that adds another layer entirely.
Absolutely. It helps you understand the context. These deep traumas, these intense power struggles like Luis's mother's death, his burning hatred for Santiago, they're driving everything. It's not just gang stuff. It's deeply personal vendettas, fueling his actions, his desperation.
And then a priest from Proctor comes forward.
Yeah.
Visits the detective.
Yeah, reluctantly. He reveals something pretty chilling. Luis Deleon came to him asking him to publish the banns of marriage for himself and Angela Richard.
Angela Richard, using her old name.
Using her old name. But here's the kicker. Luis came alone. No Lisa, no Angela, and no marriage license. He needed both, but he just showed up demanding it.
So what's the implication there?
Well, the insight is just how controlling and delusional this is. It's not a real marriage proposal, right? It's Luis's desperate, coercive attempt to basically formalize his ownership of her. Even if it's through lies and force, it's purely symbolic, reinforcing her captivity in his warped mind. He thinks he can just claim her.
Just declare it so.
Yeah.
Chilling. Okay, so the detective gets help. Teams up with Charlot, described as a shooter from a mob contact who also acts as his Spanish interpreter.
Right.
And they do reconnaissance on Deleon's place, his fortress. It sounds serious. 4 interconnected tenements, sandbag walls, boarded up windows.
Using women and children as human shields. That's grim.
Really grim. They managed to identify a specific locked room, 2nd floor, likely where Lisa's being held.
Yeah, and stepping back, that fortress, it's almost a metaphor for Luis himself, isn't it?
Good.
Heavily defended, paranoid, but literally crumbling from the inside. That roof garden is causing water damage throughout the building.
Right. Rotting from within.
Exactly. And using women and children like that, it just highlights how manipulative and utterly desperate he is. He'll use anyone to keep control.
So while they're planning the rescue, back inside that crumbling fortress, Lisa isn't just waiting passively, is she? How has her mindset evolved by now?
No, she's actively preparing. Her thinking is sharp, strategic now. She's noticing the building's decay, the creaks, the muddy water trickling down the walls. She knows his fortress, his control, is falling apart.
Sensing weakness?
Yes. And she has her weapon, that iron pipe, hidden. Her mantra becomes, ready, ready, ready. She is absolutely determined. I will not break.
Wow.
The attempted rape by Lewis, it's described as a climax for her resolve. It solidifies everything. She tells him straight, whatever you feel for me, Lewis, isn't love. It feels more like hate to me.
Powerful words.
Incredibly powerful. She follows up, I love Frank and can't stop. And I don't love you and can't start. I'd rather die than spend my life with you.
Just laying it all out there. How does he react?
He lunges at her, tears at her clothes, but this time she fights back fiercely, bites his arm, grabs the pipe, and she drives him off. He's left defeated, crying again. She has truly found her strength, her fighting spirit.
Amazing. Okay, so what happens next? The rescue plan is set. The detective and Cholo are moving in. Gunfire erupts. The building itself is literally starting to fall apart because of that water damage.
Yeah, and what really stands out here is how the physical chaos and the psychological turmoil just converge. The building collapsing, the gunfight raging outside, it perfectly mirrors Luce's control disintegrating and Lisa's own fierce battle for freedom reaching its peak.
It's the climax, literally and metaphorically.
Absolutely, a perfect storm.
So inside this chaos, amidst the gunfire, the detective kicks down the padlocked door to Lisa's room. What does he find?
He finds her in the dark, and she's holding that iron pipe like a baseball bat, ready to swing. Ready. He has to identify himself quickly, tells her, Frank sent me, I'm here to take you out.
And how does she react?
That's the absolute peak of her self-actualization right there. She's armed, poised to fight, not just waiting to be saved.
She was ready to defend herself against whoever came through that door.
Exactly. But hearing the detective's voice, hearing Frank's name, that recognition, it allows her to shift. She drops the pipe. It's this powerful moment of transition from total defiance and isolation back to relief, back to connection with the outside world. She claimed her agency, and now she can accept help.
Incredible moment. But they still have to get out. Lewis tries to stop them.
He does, but the detective quickly takes him down, non-lethally, but incapacitates him. Luis's right-hand man, Ramon Gonzalez, gets shot by Cholo in the process.
And Luis, even then, bleeding, defeated.
He screams, no despair, and la mujer, no despair, and don't shoot the woman.
Wow. Even in defeat, that twisted affection, protection.
It really makes you question the nature of his love, doesn't it? Even as he loses everything, his immediate instinct is to protect her. It underscores that however warped his feelings were, they were undeniably real to him. It's this final, really haunting glimpse into his pathology. His obsession was love in his mind, no matter how terrifying it looked from the outside.
And then the power dynamic shifts again. Luis ends up surrendering, but not to the police.
No. Freddy Santiago emerges from the darkness, basically. He claims his prize, his rival, Luis.
So Santiago wins that war.
In a way. But Lisa's driven away. She gets her freedom. And she's finally reunited with Frank at the hospital. From her perspective, after that intense fight, what's that reunion like? What's going through her mind? Well, after the fight, after Luis is defeated, there's this moment where she cleans herself up. Later, someone leaves her own clothes for her. And just feeling her own clothes again, it makes that hard center of her expand a little, as the text says.
A small sign of returning normalcy.
Exactly. She hears the water still trickling, the house groaning, and thinks his goddamn house is starting to fall apart. Then the lights go out, the gunshots start. She presses herself into the doorway, just repeating, ready, ready, ready.
Still on high alert.
Absolutely, until the very end. Then, at the hospital, once people are asked to leave them alone, she just slowly walks over to Frank, and she just sinks into his arm, closes her eyes, finally feels safe.
Right, release.
Release. But it's clearly the beginning of her healing journey, not the end of it.
So, when we distill all of this, what are the big takeaways? Lisa and Frank are back together, sure, but it's not a simple happy ending, is it?
Not at all. Their journey is really just beginning. This whole deep dive, it shows us that, yeah, some battles are fought in the dark, literally in Lisa's case, but the real hard work of healing, that happens in the light. It happens when you start confronting those hidden truths.
And there's a lot for both of them to confront now.
Absolutely. I think this experience leaves both Lisa and Frank profoundly changed. Lisa realizes, Frank is her rock, her stability, yes. But he couldn't entirely protect her. Her own strength, her own resilience, that fierce fighting spirit she found, that was crucial. She saved herself, too.
Yeah.
And Frank, he has to learn that Lisa isn't this perfect goddess he might have put on a pedestal. She's a real woman with a complex, difficult, traumatic past. And real love, the kind they need now, means accepting all of it, the messy parts, the hidden parts, alongside the woman he fell in love with.
It's incredibly powerful. This story, it's not just a thriller about a rescue, is it? It's really about that relentless chase for truth, both by the detective and by Lisa herself. It's about the sheer courage it takes to face a past you've tried to bury. And it shows us what real, authentic love looks like when it comes face to face with deep vulnerability, with trauma.
Yeah, it's a potent reminder that identity isn't fixed. It can be shaped, it can be redefined, and ultimately maybe it can be reclaimed through courage, through connection, which kind of leaves us with a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to chew on. In a world where we all, let's be honest, curate our own personas to some extent, especially online, how much of our own self-actualization, our own growth, depends on confronting the parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden?
That's a great question. And when that past inevitably does surface, because it often does in some way,
Yeah.
how do we weave it into who we are now without letting it completely define where we're going next?
Yeah. How do you integrate it, not erase it, but not be ruled by it either? Something to think about.